everyone, thank you for tuning in to this very special State Champs Digital Championship coverage of the 2018 Boys Soccer State Championships. I'm Lauren Plant.
And I'm Kiara Hay. So many great storylines led into this year's state finals. We had teams who were number 1 and 2 all season in their respective divisions meeting for the title. And we had a few teams that were looking to be state champs for the first time in their history.
That's right. We've got highlights of all 4 championship contests. Jenna Skulski will be along to give us the 4-1-1 from Division 1, and state champ soccer expert Dan Stickrack will be along to talk about this year's results.
We have a lot to get to, so let's get to it. And we begin in Division 3.
Battle between number 1 and 2 in the state. First trip for numero uno Grosseal in the state championship since winning it all in 2002. The Huron League champs, with 22 shutouts in their last 23 games, took down Macomb Luther North in the semifinals to get here. Their opponent, second-ranked Hudsonville Unity Christian. The Crusaders, with a championship history of 4 state titles and 4 finals appearances. The last championship, 2014. The OK Green champs, Unity Christian, eliminated 3 ranked squads this postseason, including blanking 9th-ranked Ludington 4-0 in the semis.
Boys, we worked way too hard to get to this point, all right? Let's go out there and work hard for 80 minutes straight. All right, come on, GI on 3. Let's go. Let's go.
Right now, 80 minutes like never before. 1, 2, 3. Unity! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Great bounce-back season for Unity Christian. In fact, they won their first regional since last winning the title in 14. Came into the state finals with a 22-2-1 record. Caden Shaban was a first-team All-Stater as a sophomore, now a junior, and a one-man wrecking crew. Past the keeper. Somehow, Grosseal defenseman Alec McKeon the roadblock that prevents a surefire goal. Red Devil keeper Brendan Eblin about as good as it gets, but the Crusaders were swarming. Zach DeVries with a nice free kick. Eblin can't corral it. Logan Cunnin can't capitalize. The first half was starting to feel like Unity Christian would own it. Evan Neuenhaus had 12 goals coming in. Good look, but his shot sails wide and we were still scoreless. Speaking of goals, Grosseal has been a scoring machine this season. 157 tallies to be exact. Wasn't going to be long before they got themselves in position. The junior Benedict Tanny has 30 goals in 24 games. Good look, but off the mark. And from a good look to flat-out good luck, under 9 minutes left in the half, the senior Christian Drizziga shot caroms off a Unity Christian defender and into the back of the net. 10th goal of the campaign. Grosseal takes a 1-0 lead.
Let's go!
But less than a minute later, Unity Christian with a perfect response. Attack. Shaban flying again, and Ebling flying out of his box in the foul. That led to a penalty kick. A surefire Mr. Soccer watch lister for 2019. Shaban, the honor now of trying to tie this one up. He buries it, and we were tied at 1 into halftime. To the second half we go, and we haven't mentioned Grosseal's Jacob Sawicki yet. Sawicki with an incredible 52 goals this season, looking for the lead, but Grant Balser climbing the ladder and the stop. Despite the cold temperatures, the Red Devils game started heating up. They had an amazing 36 goals scored this postseason. Sawicki to Max Aston, but Balser again the denial, still a 1-1 game. 11 minutes to go in the contest. Unity Christian gunning for the go-ahead. Shaban with the feed out to Neuenhaus, but the senior Eblin with the stop. This game would go into overtime. There's no sudden death in OT. You have to play 2 10-minute sessions. Shaban given a free kick within striking distance. The chip hits iron. The ball swept away before it can find the back of the net. 7 minutes left in the first OT. The Crusaders come through. The junior Jordan Bruckbauer at the right place at the right time. Unity Christian takes the lead at 2-1. In the second OT, the Crusaders add a little insurance. Bruckbauer to Shaban, and the junior delivers his second of the game, 31st of the season. Hudsonville Unity Christian goes on to beat Grosseal 3-1 the final. Crusaders' first state title since 2014.
It's a dream. Living, growing up with Unity culture, like it's just, you always want to get that state title. You can be part of the team that does it, and it's just great. It's been a dream for a long time.
it's kind of an indescribable kind of feeling. It's kind of something that as a kid I've dreamed for, and finally getting the chance to, you know, kind of walk on this field is unreal enough, and then winning and let alone scoring is just an unbelievable feeling.
It's a very, very good high school soccer game. Two evenly matched teams going at it. Both teams defend extremely well. Yeah, you know, it was big for us to score right after they scored, to tie it up, and then second half we really thought that we were putting some pressure on them toward the end of that game, and we wanted to start out hard and fast in the overtime, and yeah, credit to Jordan getting a big goal, the biggest goal of his life. The third one from Caden was huge. We could relax a little bit. Just a very, very good high school soccer game. We're extremely pleased and happy with how this one turned out.
We're here at Novi High School with yet another East versus West matchup in Division I. When the final regular season rankings were released, Ann Arbor Skyline was ranked 10th, and East Kentwood went unranked. Yet here they are today, both one game away from being the new state champs. Ann Arbor Skyline back in the state finals for the first time since winning it all back in 2013. Lots of ranked squads fell in the tournament. Skyline helped beating third-ranked Saline in the districts, which avenged their own 2 losses this season. The Eagles have only given up 1 goal in the playoffs. East Kentwood back in the title tilt since 2016. The unranked Falcons came in a perfect 6-0 in the state championship game, looking to ruffle a few feathers despite finishing 4th in their league. East Kentwood in white, fresh off beating Grand Blanc in the semis. Tough challenge in this one as Skyline had only given up 11 goals all season. Senior Giuseppe Calabrese has a team high of 14 goals this season. Almost made it 15, but Skyline netminder Kyrie Wixom with the stop. Later in the half, the Falcons once again pressuring. The junior Bo Ray with the shot attempt, but once again denied by Wixom. Ann Arbor Skyline took out Warren De La Salle in overtime to get here. However, East Kentwood hasn't given up more than 2 goals in any game. Eagles found a chance before the end of the half. Eagles senior Tobin Brenner puts it on net and is scooped up by Falcon keeper Louis Schultz. We were scoreless into halftime. Early in the second half, East Kentwood looking to crack the scoreboard seal. Check out the work here by senior Damir Sabinovich, but his shot just sails wide. But in the 70th minute, Skyline would get on the board off the free kick. Check out the bicycle kick by the junior Chris Emerson. His best Pele impression puts the Eagles up 1-0. But they weren't done. Minutes later, the nice crossing pass over to the junior Bryce Shaner, who finishes the header for his 8th goal on the season. Ann Arbor Skyline shuts out East Kentwood 2-0 the final. Eagles' first state championship in 5 years. How's it feel to be a champ?
Feels great. Going into the season, we really didn't have these high expectations, but once we won districts, we thought we were going to win it all, so we made it all the way.
I'm still kind of numb. They did it 5 years ago, and this is just, words can't even express it. It's an amazing feeling.
Now we're going over to see what's going on the western side of the state with Division II and Division IV. Once again, here's Lauren Plant with the highlights.
Comstock Park High School, the locale, and in Division IV, second-ranked Leland from the Traverse City area in the state finals for the first time ever. The reason they were here is because the only goals they gave up in 6 playoff games were to number 3 Kalamazoo Hackett in the semifinals, and that was only in the shootout, of which they won. They were matched up with surprisingly unranked Ann Arbor Green Hills. However, they were the defending state champs. They entered the postseason with a sub-500 record, but outscored all 6 of their playoff opponents by a combined 22-2. But offensively, Leland has been a force this season. 158 goals in 27 games. First half, the junior midfielder Jesus Calderon Balcazar has a chance. Shot sails. Green Hills took care of Genesee Christian in the state semifinals to get here. The senior Zach Zimmerman with a long blast, but saved by Comets netminder Gavin Miller. We were scoreless up until the 33rd minute of the first half. Calderon Balcazar stepping up in the biggest game of the year. The nice, unassisted one-touch finish for the junior midfielder. Leland out to a 1-0 lead. The Comets then had a flurry of chances after that. Kobe Lund has been the man for Leland all this year to the tune of 42 goals, but his shot denied by Green Hills senior keeper Leo Fry. Under 20 minutes to go in the half. Green Hills trying to get one off the free kick by Zimmerman, but Gavin Miller gets his mitts on it. Leland went into halftime leading 1-0.
We can work harder, we can put more intensity there, am I correct? You gotta do it, it's the state final. There is no game tomorrow.
Leland outshot the Griffins 12-5 in the contest. Owen Carrick with the free kick. Andre Mass gets a foot on it, but Fry there again for another save. He had 10 on the day. Green Hills with one more chance late off the throw-in. Zimmerman gets a tough shot off, but Miller was money. And Leland hangs on to win 1-0 the final. School's first ever soccer state championship.
I'm so excited. We just made history for our school. This is the first time we've been to states, and then we won it. So I feel great.
It feels great to make history and just getting the victory with this team feels great.
So excited for the community, so proud for the boys. They're so deserving of it. They've been working on it, like I said earlier, since July. They set their goal and they reached it. And they had a couple setbacks, a couple challenges on the way, but they pulled through every time.
In Division 2, another East versus West showdown. Unranked Detroit Country Day, a perennial champ in Division 3, but this is D2. However, after beating 9th-ranked Cranbrook in overtime in the semifinals, they are legit and in the title tilt for the first time in 7 years. Grand Rapids Forest Hills Northern is the #1 team in the state in Division 2. The seniors on this team remembering what it felt like to lose in the state final when they were freshmen. It's taken 3 years, but here they were for a chance at redemption. FHN and White had not lost in 24 games. They know how to win, came out firing. Aiden O'Connor gets it to Andrew Kremer, who meets the keeper. The sophomore defenseman Josh Gust is there to clear it away, and we were scoreless at the half.
Finishing. We had chances in this half, but you boys clamp up and you're trying to shoot 112 miles an hour, and you miss the goal by this much, okay? If the opportunity is there, you don't need to kill 140 miles an hour. 112 is just fine. Just drive it low corners, okay?
After a scoreless second half, we went into overtime. Huskies with a good chance early on. Senior Zach Myers finds a way to get the ball in the box. Jordan Okito has 17 goals this season, but not here. Back comes Country Day. Albert Yee off the free kick. Northern keeper Jonathan Clywer knocks it away. Avery Wilson the rebound, but stopped again by Clywer. Lots of scoring chances in the extra session. Northern again on the move. Myers with the header to Nate Texer, but his shot denied by Country Day senior netminder John Doherty. He gobbled up 19 saves on the afternoon. This game would be decided in a shootout. Country Day went first. The freshman Grant Mateer burying the ball to give the Yellow Jackets a 1-0 lead. Northern missed on its first attempt. Country Day would not. The sophomore Justin Harris cool and collected. But back came the Huskies. Nate Texer with no problem. Northern trails by a goal. But the Jackets would get that 2-goal advantage right back as another freshman, Macklin Stover, finds a way. Country Day up 3-1. But no quitting the Huskies. O'Connor puts it in. Northern trails by a penny 3-2. But the Yellow Jackets knew they could end it right here. Kevin Tang doing the honors. Detroit Country Day wins their 15th state championship. They beat Forest Hills Northern 4-2. First state title for the Yellow Jackets since 2011.
It means a ton. Since we started in June, this is what we've been talking about all season. We worked so hard, and it means the world. I can't really put into words right now.
I'm ecstatic right now. This is the best feeling on earth. After a long, hard-fought battle, the whole game, there's no better feeling than coming away with a victory.
I'm really excited for the boys. They worked really hard all year and did everything that the coaching staff asked of them. We had a lot of talent, but they worked hard, and this is the result and reward. I'm so proud of them.
Okay, we wrap our soccer coverage of the state finals with our resident soccer expert, Dan Stickrat. Welcome to the Soccer State Finals recap.
Thank you for having me, Lauren.
All right, it's good to have you here. Okay, we want to talk about the finals and get your thoughts kind of on the season as a whole as we kind of wrap it up here. Let's start with Division 4. Ann Arbor Green Hills has had a real solid program. Last year, they break through for the first state title. Despite being unranked, they get back to the state finals. This year, they win the regionals in a shootout over 6th-ranked Adrian Lenawee Christian. They go on to beat 4th-ranked Genesee Christian. They draw 2nd-ranked Leland in the final. Leland's first trip to the championship. Comets win 1-0. Your thoughts about the way the Division 4 playoffs went and the new champion. Leland was a force this season.
Yeah, and I spoke to their coach earlier this season. They scored over 150 goals, but he emphasized the athleticism on their team. He said he had several guys that play club soccer in the Traverse City area, but he just had great athletes. And he felt mid-season they were really starting to fire on all cylinders, and they knocked off several ranked teams to win the title.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, in Division 3, this matchup carried over from the regular season. The top 2 ranked teams, Grosse Ile and Hudsonville Unity Christian, getting together. Grosse Ile #1 because of their defense. 21 straight shutouts at one point, only giving up a single goal throughout the playoffs. Their first trip to the finale since they won it in 2002, the first year of state champs, by the way. Unity Christian won in 2014. This game took double OT. Jordan Bruckbauer's first goal of the season was the game winner for Unity Christian. Just 2 really good teams battling to the end.
You know, it's funny because Unity Christian didn't have very many shots on frame. They only had 4 or 5 on net over 100 minutes and converted 3. It was 1-0 Grosse Ile late in the first half. Immediately afterwards, a takedown in the box, a penalty kick. Caden Shaban, who will be a Mr. Soccer candidate next year, one of the state's top juniors, buried it. He was a marked man the whole game, still scored twice on 3 shots. And Grosse Ile was a senior-heavy team. Just like Leland, they scored almost 150 goals, bombarded teams the last several years, and just couldn't get it done on the final day.
Yeah, Jacob Sawicki, I mean, over 50 goals.
Yeah, he's one of the top 10 in the state this year in goals.
Yeah, really impressive. I guess what was surprising was you thought that Unity Christian was a year away.
Yep, then they're going to return 17 guys next season. Their coach mentioned early in the year that they were going to be good. How good, he wasn't sure how they would mesh, but with that many guys coming back next year, they got to be the favorite in Division 3.
Absolutely. Well, in Division 2, Grand Rapids Forest Hills Northern were the #1 team, but it never won a state title. Can't say the same for Country Day. State record 15 state championships, the last in 2011. This would have been their first in Division 2. Huskies hadn't lost in 24 games. John Doherty, the keeper for the Yellow Jackets, the last man standing. Country Day wins the shootout.
It was funny because between Forest Hills Northern, Grand Rapids Christian, Marshall, and Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook, you had 4 teams that everyone was talking about the whole season.
Right.
Senior-heavy teams, lots of college talent.
Right.
Here's Country Day, very good, but they're kind of going back on the radar, and they knocked off several ranked teams, and you can never count out that program. Steve Bossert took over for Paul Brothership a few years ago, and they're back.
Yeah, what is it about them that it seems like they can just turn it up and this consistency over the decade?
Well, it's one of those things where, and it's funny because in today's era with the developmental academies pulling away a lot of the top tier kids, especially in the Detroit area, he mentioned he had some kids in his program, those parents, one of them that experienced the Country Day, playing in that atmosphere. They just came together, just a great run. When they knocked off Cranbrook in the semis, I thought this team's for real.
Yeah, because again, now trying to do it in Division 2, that's a whole new ballgame.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, when it comes to D1 and D2, where you have so many teams that are so even, especially with D1, but D2, you can look at the top 10, top 20 and say, any one of these teams can do it. But Country Day, they just peaked at the right time. And being an independent, they played a real tough schedule. That's nothing new going back to the 1980s. They've always played a tough schedule, and I think they just found a way to win in a lot of those close games.
And Forest Hills Northern is one of those programs now that's not going anywhere.
No, they're not. And if you look in the last 10 years between boys and girls soccer, I think they have like 5 runner-ups between the two. One of these years, Forest Hills Northern and Daniel Seminci is going to grab that title, but it's kind of like the Graham Blank syndrome in D1, where they've knocked on the door so many times and they just can't seem to get through.
Right. Well, let's go to D1. When the last time, I can't remember the last time East Kentwood went into the playoffs unranked. It's been a while. They found their way into the finale. Ann Arbor Skyline finished ranked 10th. It was amazing. They were the only ranked team left in the semifinals when we got there. History tells us East Kentwood doesn't lose in the state championship game. 6 finals made, 6 trophies to take home. Kentwood came in with 5 shutouts in a row. Skyline had only allowed 11 goals all season. Skyline was beat up too, lots of injuries for the Eagles, but they win their first state title since 2015.
Yeah, they had 6 guys who started or came immediately off the bench going into the tournament, guys that played a ton of minutes, that were on walking boots, crutches, you name it. And they found a way, and it wasn't an easy ride. They knocked off number 3 Saline in the district final, and that kind of got the ball rolling. They looked very sharp in their semifinal match. They actually controlled play against Warren De La Salle, another perennial powerhouse. In the finals, it was 0-0. You get down to the last 10 minutes, it's anyone's game. I mean, and they scored 58 seconds apart. And it's funny, they're a strange team because their leading goal scorer had 9 goals. They don't have a Mr. Soccer candidate, don't have a dream team caliber player. Everyone says, wow, that kid's unbelievable. But they have exceptional depth. And Kiri Wixom was one of the top 10 goalies in the state this year. He gave up 1 goal in the tournament. They gave up less than 15 the whole year. He has some D1 and D2 looks, just sterling throughout the tournament.
And East Kentwood is a program that you might knock them down, but they're going to come right back and just show you they are a team always to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and East Kentwood, they only had 1 starter back from their 2016 state championship team, but close to 3,000 students in that school, and John Conlon has proven in the last 2 decades that he is one of the top 5, if not the best coach in the state of Michigan. It doesn't matter how many guys they graduate, they always seem to be a team that's going to be reckoned with. I mean, I think 9 Final Fours out of 14 years, that's unheard of in D1 Class A, just unheard of.
It is amazing. All right, well, finally, another season is in the books, Dan. What will you remember about the 2018 campaign?
Just a lot of parity, I think, especially in the upper divisions, but it goes back to that whole thing with the developmental academy, the ECNL club teams that are pulling away some of the top tier kids. It does even up a little bit. There are still some teams out there that have plenty of D1, D2, D3 kids. But, you know, hats off to kids that do experience the high school. It is such a short season. It's literally 11 weeks from the first day of tryouts to the state finals. It's such a narrow time period. But there are so many great players out there that are going D1 and D2. There are so many kids that are deserving of recognition, and it's great to see that. I personally have spoken to kids who said, I am not giving up that experience.
And we see that also similarly in hockey now, you know, who want to have that same experience. And yeah, well, the game's thriving. It's a short season, but we got through it. And soccer is now officially in the books. We thank Dan Stickrat for being here.
Thanks for joining us for this special look at the 2018 MHSAA Boys Soccer State Finals. Congratulations to every team who reached the finals this year. It's special to win, but it's also a huge honor just to get there.
No doubt. State Champs is committed to honoring all high school sports, and we'll have additional state championship digital editions for you to enjoy. Remember to always follow State Champs on social media. Check in with our website, statechampsnetwork.com, for news and great reporting.
And remember, State Champs airs every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. Until next time, we'll see ya.